So I've been sitting here and I started to, just, think and reminisce about, my life and stuff. And then I started to think about when a time when I felt like I was the most locked in, the most focused, and the most driven to improve, whether that be physically and mentally and stuff. And I wanted to kind of know when that time was for you guys, because when it comes to life, sometimes, we have moments where we're like super locked in, into stuff, and we're super, focused on goals and stuff. But, then we have times where we get like really, really comfortable where we're at, and then we have, little lows and stuff. And I kind of wanted to know when you felt like the moment was for you, when you were like the most locked in and the most focused. And for me, it was a it was a couple year stretch, like before I want to say 2018 to early 2020, before COVID hit. I'm not too sure of the time frames, but there were during that time I felt like I was the most locked in and the most focused on my physical health, because I was going to the gym. But not only was I going to the gym, I was also playing basketball once or twice a week at the same time. And and during that time, I felt really, really good mentally and physically, because I always felt like I felt like I had something to work towards. Not that I didn't have anything that I wanted to work towards, later on, and as of recently, but I felt like during that time I was really, really just locked, and really, was really working to get better. Because I treated those Sundays when we would play pickup. I would treat those days like, actual basketball game days. I've never gotten a chance to play organized basketball. I've been on a basketball team before, but never in as a player, since I was the water boy, the managers they would call it. But during that 1.5 year, 2 year stretch, I felt like I was most locked in. On Sundays, I would go play pickup, and if something went wrong, I would go to the gym that week and be like, okay, I have to. If I fell over and got knocked over, okay, I need to work on my balance more. If I didn't do this, I needed to work on didn't need to work on this. And then gradually, from doing that literally 6 days a week, it was the gym Monday through Friday. Saturdays I would take off, to rest and go to church and such. But then Sunday morning I would go do the pickups, and then go do the pickup runs, and I would. My friend would say be there by 8:00. I was there by 7:00. I would be there by 7:00, 7:30. Get there early. Like, the gate wouldn't even be open yet. I would be sitting in front of the gate waiting for the park guys to open the gate, and then I would do my warm ups. I would get my shots in. There'd be times where I'd get there, or my friends would get there, and I'd be in a complete sweat, because I put up 100, 200 shots already. And then, we play 21, and then we play our little half court 4-on-4 games, and sometimes we play full court, and then it'd be the same thing the next week, and the next week, and the next week. And it was cool to, looking back on it, it was cool to see the constant progression of me getting better, of me getting stronger, of me getting a little faster, of my basketball skills getting a little better. Each and every time, I would always find something else to work on, find something else to work on. And and now that I'm looking back on it, I kind of want to get back to that mentality, not necessarily from a physical fitness standpoint, because I can definitely do that and get back to that, but I want to try and work towards getting that mentality towards other things that I'm working on. Building up my TikTok, working on my podcast. And while I feel like those things are going well. I know that they can. I know that they can get a lot better. But I really want to work towards getting back to that mindset of, constantly wanting to improve and constantly wanting to get better. And it's been, and while I've had moments of doing that, I don't think I've been the most consistent, especially post lockdown, post COVID and everything. And I really, really want to get back, and I really, really want to get back to that. So that's just me telling my story of how I felt, locked in and really focused. And if you guys have any stories, I'd love to see videos, and I'd love to see your comments down below. But definitely share your stories, and definitely share your moments, because I definitely would love to read them and love to hear them. So if you guys have anything, put them down below, and I'll be back for the next video soon.